Good evening, dear friends. I want to wish you all a wonderful week ahead as we finish Shabbos, and a wonderful month ahead. Today was Rosh Chodesh, and we are ushering in a brand new month of Tammuz. So may we all have a wonderful week and a wonderful month ahead. And dear friends, today we're going to be doing the 100th day of the Daily Mitzvah. For all of you who are still listening every single day, it's a big commitment. 100 days, and we're close to a third through, learning through all the 613 mitzvahs, and it's quite an accomplishment. Commitments are very difficult to keep up. So if you're still listening every single day, feel free to congratulate yourselves. It's a big commitment. And if you've slacked off, you haven't been listening every single day, and sometimes yes, sometimes not, don't worry. Don't let it discourage you. Don't let it deter you. Jump back on, and don't let yesterday's shortcomings stop you from greatness ahead. So on that note, let us do a few more mitzvahs. We're continuing the laws of kosher and in general laws that have to do with food consumption. The laws of kosher, or the laws of which foods are permitted and not permitted, are pretty vast. So let us get going. We have 4 mitzvahs today. Mitzvah number 1 for today. It is forbidden to eat any grains that have been planted or any produce that have been planted in a vineyard where there is a cross-contamination between grapevines, and other agriculture in that same field. As the Torah says, Pentikdash Hamleya Hazeda, lest the grain or the seed that grows become forbidden to you. And the Rambam says that if there's a Jew who violates this mitzvah and eats what's called kilei hakerem, any type of mixture of seeds from a vineyard, is punished by death by the hands of heaven, which means there's no human court intervention over here. This is God's business. And the Rambam adds, similar to what we had in yesterday's mitzvah, that this is one of the rare cases where even if you didn't derive any benefit from eating it, which means there was no pleasure involved, but still the moment you eat it, even if it's without pleasure, you are in violation of this mitzvah. Generally speaking, whenever there's a violation, there's a prohibition not to eat something, you are only in violation if you actually enjoyed that eating, or you ate it in a way in which people usually derive benefit. But if it was stuffed down your throat in a way that was totally not pleasurable, and this is not the way people eat pleasurably, usually you're not in violation, but this mitzvah is considered so severe that it is. Okay, mitzvah number 2 for today. It is forbidden to eat tevel. What's tevel? Tevel is an English word, and it's really laws that are still in effect in the land of Israel, and were especially a very big part of Jewish culture in temple times. These are agricultural laws. According to the Torah, anything that grows from a Jewish field in the land of Israel, you need to tithe. You need to take off a portion of it. There's truma, there's meiser, there are many different kinds of tithing, different procedures that have to be done. And what it basically is, take a percentage of the produce and give it in donations to different purposes. And there's a whole set of laws how that's done. Some go to the Kohanim, to the priestly family. Some go to the Leviim, the Levites. There's some that go to Meiser Ani for poor people, etc., etc. Until you have taken that tithing from your produce, that produce is called tevel, which means it's still a mixed bag. It is not ready for consumption by a Jew because a portion of it needs to really be going away. A portion needs to be consecrated. So it's forbidden for a Jew to touch and eat any produce that is considered tevel that has not been, that the truma and the meiser, the tithings, have not been separated. As the Torah says, "V'lo yichalu es kodshei b'nei Yisrael es asher yirimu l'Hashem," and you shall not desecrate the holy stuff of the Jewish people that they will be donating to Hashem. So this is big stuff that you need to be, that this is going to, that this is all holy stuff, and this needs to go to Hashem. And therefore you should not allowed to eat any tevel. Okay, moving right along to the next mitzvah is the prohibition from drinking yayin nesach, which means wine of libations of an idolatrous offering. So A very big part of pagan practices of idol worship is that you would offer an offering to your idol and you would pour wine as part of a wine libation. Any wine that was used in the service of idol worship is not allowed to be consumed by a Jew. The Rambam says that, interestingly, even though this is one of the 613 mitzvahs of the Torah, there's no clear biblical verse saying this. There's only an allusion. The Torah says, that the idol worshippers, the pagans, they eat the fats of their pagan offerings and they drink the wine of their libations. It says the Rambam that our sages learn from here that the same exact way that it is forbidden to eat from the offering that was brought to a pagan idol, so too here we see that the Torah equates the wine with the actual offering itself. So therefore, as well, the wine that was brought is forbidden as well. Says the Rambam like this. A few interesting little details about this mitzvah. The biblical commandment is only wine that was actually used for libation. But the rabbis, there was also a rabbinic decree that adds on the idea, which we call stam yenam, regular Gentile wine. That it is also forbidden for a Jew to drink wine that's not kosher and wine that comes from a non-Jew. And this is another layer to the mitzvah and to the laws of kosher today, that we want to be very careful that a bottle of wine has a kosher symbol, and there's all other details. This also ties in with the idea that some kosher bottles of wine will have the word mevushal, and it all ties into this law of the yayin nesach, of not drinking any wine that comes from idol worship. The final mitzvah for today is about the laws of slaughtering. The mitzvah that we are commanded to slaughter an animal, whether it's a domesticated animal or a wild animal, and fowl, and that only afterwards should we be able to eat from that animal, and that the only way to make a kosher animal, available and able to be consumed by a Jew is through the laws of slaughter, which Hashem taught to Moshe Rabbeinu on Mount Sinai, the exact art of slaughter. As the Torah says, that Hashem has commanded us how to prepare our animals for sacrifices, and the exact same way that Hashem showed us how to prepare an animal for a sacrifice in the Holy Temple, that is the exact same way that we prepare the cattle and animals and fowl to be prepared for regular consumption of a Jew. It's the exact same way. And the Rambam says that Hashem taught Moshe Rabbeinu the exact anatomy. There's the esophagus, there's the trachea, and exactly how much needs to be cut through the act of shechita, of kosher slaughtering, in order to render the animal kosher for kosher consumption, for the kosher consumer. And dear friends, those are our mitzvahs for today. I want to wish you all a wonderful week, a wonderful chodesh, a wonderful month. We'll see you all soon. Sei gesund.